agents of change.
In the deep south of the United States in East Tennessee, under the thick cover of emerald pine trees cushioned between the Great Smoky Mountains is where this story begins. The intense heat and the humming vibrations of crickets accompany the deep, longing twangs of the banjo. On the 19th of January 1946, Dolly Parton is born here in Locust Ridge. In a one-bedroom cabin, she grew up alongside her 11 brothers and sisters. It was a humble existence. They lived off the land and life was tough, but they were happy and rich with love and faith. From a young age she understood the importance of female camaraderie with strong connections to her female relatives. At the age of 18, a young Dolly left her country hometown to the star-studded Nashville. She soon began working with Fred Foster, the owner of Monument Records, who wanted to mould her into a teenage star. In Dolly's words, she felt ugly being made out to play this role. Her hair was flat and she didn't have enough makeup. Early on, she was not going to be altered and adjusted to appear beautiful under a male's gaze. At the age of 20 in 1967, she got offered a job on the Porter Wagoner Show, launching her career in country music. She was offered a salary of $60,000, more money than she had ever imagined. She continued working on the show for 7 years but did not see her pay rise. She decided that enough was enough. She wanted to be paid more fairly and to be her own star, not to be dimmed under the light of her male colleague. This is when Dolly wrote the iconic song "I Will Always Love You" as she parted ways with the show. Dolly, with a savvy and entrepreneurial spirit, launched her own publishing company as soon as she could. She set up Opar Records alongside her uncle so she could control her own music royalties. The king of rock and roll himself, Elvis Presley, wanted to record "I Will Always Love You," but Dolly had to turn him down. He refused to record anything without publishing rights. For her, this was her most important record at the time, and arguably continues to be, as Whitney Houston infamously covered the song in 1992. Dolly's story appears to be one of underestimation. Due to her beauty queen, rhinestone, blonde, hillbilly-esque image, males throughout her career have cast assumptions and expected her to be nothing more than her outer superficial layer. Although Dolly seems to be sceptical of the label feminist, there is no denying her contribution to the empowering and lifting of women throughout her career. The film, for which Dolly produced the infamous anthem, 9 to 5, was groundbreaking for the year of 1980. The story is of 3 women who seek vengeance against their chauvinistic, sexist boss. The film shed light on sexual harassment in the workplace, propelling women to speak up about their experiences and change workplace dynamics. In 2019, nearly 2 decades later, the country queen expressed how the film is more important than ever as more women use their voice to fight against sexual harassment with the Me Too movement. Dolly rose up from grassroots beginnings and is a working-class icon for women not only in the music industry, but for every woman who has aspirations to do well for themselves. Just a year before Dolly launched her career, the late country singer Patsy Cline was reprimanded for wearing trousers on the Grand Ole Opry stage. Parton entered a man's world and thrived. In a time where people were straitjacketed into conformist gender roles, she embraced a flamboyant take on femininity. Very early on in her career, she released the song Dumb Blonde. Ahead of its time, she warns people not to think she is passive and unintelligent because of her bleached hair. Later, Just Because I'm a Woman challenged the double standards we have in society between men and women. More recently, Backwoods Barbie expresses how people should not underestimate her due to her artificial appearance. The Tennessee native's gold and glitter image has been a tool of empowerment as she has used it to rise up and have power in a primarily male-dominated industry. She has paved the way for the next generation of female singers and songwriters who continue to battle against harassment and control within the music industry. This is Lydia Patrick from Derby, England for the Agents of Change podcast. For the world goes to where we take it.